guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Oh hey, before I get started, I wanted to let you know, if you didn't already know, that Pete and I have bought and sold and renovated properties, and we've taken our clients through that so many times. The buy, sell, renovate, blah, 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 blah. So I created a course on it, and it's a great course because it takes you through the buying process all the way through from the beginning to the end. It tells you who the key players are. It tells you what to expect, what to look for, and everything you need to know to buy a property and move to Italy. And also you need to buy my book, because my book is all the pitfalls we've seen people fall into. And I'm telling you, these are not small holes. These are big, deep canyons that people have fallen into. Luckily, none of our clients, we've been able to circumvent these things. But I've seen some scary stuff since I've been here. So definitely go sign up for the course and buy the book and study, 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 because the more educated you are, the more fun you're going to have. Pete and I just got back last night from our trip to Montepulciano, a fact-finding trip, which was actually a lot of fun. Oh, we found a lot of facts. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of weigh in with my impressions and our impressions on the differences between northern Italy and southern Italy. We've lived here in, Calabria and Puglia for 15 years. So we got a real good sense of it. So bear in mind that I haven't lived up in the Montepulciano area or in Tuscany, but I've been there a lot. And I can tell you some of the ideas that we have with regards to differences that you might find in everyday life. So I'm going to do the plus minus thing. Bear in mind, it's very difficult to do a clinical plus and minus thing on those two places. I mean, they're just both so amazing. Okay, so I'm going to start with, not the bad news, but I'm going to start with the negative part first, which is the minuses. First of all, with southern Italy that we've seen. In general, it's not quite as clean and it's not quite as well maintained as far as like roads and things go. Overall, the roads were better up and around Montepulciano, and I did not see one speck of garbage. I think Pete saw one plastic bag the whole time we were there. And, part of it is because living where we live in a very touristy area, and in summer, the place is inundated with tourists. So our guys have to run around cleaning up after them, and it just creates not quite as clean an atmosphere, and it's not really anybody's fault so much. It just is what it is. The other thing in the south, no pointy cypress trees. Sorry about that. I have yet to see one single pointy cypress tree here, and I kind of miss them. I do like the way they look. On the other hand, down here in Calabria and areas in Basilicata and even Campania, along the coast, we have the most magnificent bougainvillea, which I didn't see any in Montepulciano. I don't think they live up there. Hibiscus, gorgeous tropical plants, tons of beautiful, beautiful flora here and plants and things like that. It's very tropical. Also, the weather is like warmer down here. Like we were freezing up there, and here I am without, in almost Thanksgiving, and I'm not even wearing a sweater. And I was hot today, so that's another thing. Another thing in the south, a lot of the roads, going from one place to the other. Like for example, when you're heading towards Puglia, we go to Puglia and we just drive over. It takes 3.5 hours. But going up, you start on the SS18, which goes along the coast. Pretty nice, highway. It's pretty easy to navigate. But then we have to go up through Lauria. We have to take a lot of these little teeny roads that go up to the autostrada, which runs along the middle there. And in order to get there, it's windy, 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 and some of the roads are not that good. Now, if you're afraid of windy roads on hills and hairpins and things, I don't think the south is for you, because you're gonna find them. That's why you have like little pandas here. That's why you have smaller SUVs, but you don't get these big giant things. Even in up north, the giant cars are not the best for some of these villages and towns. There's not a lot of steak here in Calabria for sure. I haven't seen a whole lot in Puglia either. I mean, you can get a tagliata and it's good. The steak that we had in Montepulciano was absolutely earth-shattering. I had a couple of green peppercorn steaks up there that just knocked my socks off. I mean, it just melts in your mouth, and the crunchy little peppercorn's so good. Oh, steaks there are great. Don't see a lot of steak here. A lot of pork, a lot of chicken, sausages, a lot of that. Of course, there's those up north as well. But that's pretty much the meat, protein kind of thing that you find here. And of course, a lot of fish and seafood. Okay, now for the pluses of the south, the sea, the beautiful sea. And as I said, the beautiful tropical atmosphere. But the beaches down here are crazy. And also in Puglia, they're just gorgeous. And just the sea, you look at the sea and it's just stunning, and it's swimmable. It's very swimmable. In fact, a lot of Italians come down here for their summer vacation because they want to go swimming in the sea. The other big plus is the locals. The locals here are just the warmest, sweetest, nicest people you would ever want to meet. They bend over backwards to help you. They're just wonderful, and they're the main reason that we ended up here in the first place. The other thing is Calabrian food, especially their appetizers. Oh my God, you have not lived until you've had Calabrian appetizers. There's one called crocante, and you go, okay, crunchy, what does that mean? Well, it's a chili pepper. It's a sweet chili pepper, big one. It's been dried, and then it's been fried really hot and really fast for about 30 seconds, and then sprinkled with salt until it's like a little chili pepper potato chip. Oh my God. If you know, you could sit down and eat a plate of them, and I have. They're fabulous. Also, there's all kinds of little fried things. There's all kinds of little beanie things. There's so many different appetizers here. And I always go to the Bella Vista, and I always order the antipasto di stagione, and it's always different, and it's always amazing. I just love Calabrian food. Also down here you have spectacular scenery. You have big jutting mountains of all different colors. You have Pollino National Park. You've got all these mountains and sea and trees and beautiful, just gorgeous olive trees, olive gardens that you've driving through Calabria in springtime is just, it's just a treat. You should really do it. It's amazing. The scenery here is second to none. And believe it or not, Calabria and Puglia both have excellent wines. Verbicaro is a huge wine area, and in Puglia they have a lot of different wine areas over there. Wine and olive oil, big sellers in Calabria and Puglia. And another plus in the south is that properties are way more affordable than they are up north. And renovations, materials, everything is more affordable than it is up north. So you can get a lot for your money. And if you can deal with all the other minuses, which really, to be honest with you, I don't notice them because I'm way too indulged by the pluses. But if you can put up with the minuses, you can live here very easily and very comfortably and very well and happily. Now let's talk about the minuses. Basically, I'm talking about up and around Montepulciano, which is really where I was. The properties are more expensive in general, and the renovation costs are more. Now in Tuscany specifically, they're very tight, and you have to have permits, and everything has to be just so. And because of that, things cost more. They take longer, that kind of thing. So you're going to pay more for your renovations in Tuscany than you would down south. Now, I'm not sure about the rest of the North, Piemonte, and those areas, but Tuscany certainly is that way. In general, from what I understand, properties and renovations and everything gets more expensive the farther north you go. While there are some pretty nice beaches up north, they're just not quite the spectacular things you see down here. You got these Mediterranean, Ionian, Tyrrhenian beaches that are absolutely stunning. And, thank you, Gigi, and the sunsets from here are absolutely amazing. And up north, they have a lot of tourists, and they're not necessarily well controlled. They're starting to put in some restrictions, like in Venice, which really needs it. I mean, Venice is a very delicate, fragile system. And they really need to do something or they're going to lose it. It's a beautiful city. It's a piece of history. They need to really take care of it, and they're starting to do that, which makes me happy. Florence, we were there in June. It was just wall-to-wall tourists. You saw, I think they have a video on there, a short. Hey, we're in the Florence train station in June. It was a zoo. So, yeah. I mean, we have tourists down here, but mostly in July and August. The rest of the year, quiet, happy, tranquil, beautiful. Now the pluses for the area in and around Montepulciano: super clean, super well-maintained roads, and the roads are wide. You generally don't find the windy, skinny, scary, sometimes non-existent roads that you run into in Calabria, and sometimes in Puglia. You know, you're driving along and all of a sudden, hey, it's dirt. Hey, we're in a cornfield or something like that. And you don't find that as much up there, although there are dirt roads and things like that. But mostly the roads are really well maintained. It's really quite nice to drive up there. They have pointy cypress trees up there that I love. That's a big plus. Another big plus is they have crazy steaks. I think I mentioned that already when I talked about Calabria not having a lot of beef. The steaks in and around Florence, Montepulciano, anywhere up in that area, the steaks are just crazy. And let me also say that, you know, we were up there, it's kind of wintertime, so they had a lot of mushrooms. Oh my gosh, so good. I mean, there's not one single cook that I've run across in Italy that doesn't know how to cook, like, really well. So the beautiful ingredients, I would have to say they're all over Italy. I have yet to have, well, I had one bad meal in Italy, and that was, I forget what else I ordered, but I remember the artichokes. I got carciofi alla romana, and they were definitely suffering from a bad case of ED, if you know what I mean. Pretty weak, and they tasted awful. They were salty and terrible. But that wasn't even a place run by Italians. It was by the train station in Rome. Bad choice. The next big plus about up north is fabulous wines. Oh my God. Pete and I said, well, we should try this Vino Nobile, you know, because we never had. I didn't even know if it was white or red. And the waiter, oh no, signore, it's red. I'm like, oh, I think I made a faux pas by asking whether it was white or red. And so he said, you should buy this bottle. And we bought it, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was a 2020 Vino Nobile. I don't remember what winery it was, but it was spectacular. I would imagine that a lot of the wineries up there are really good. And in and around Montepulciano, so many wineries, so much winemaking, so many grapes, so many olive trees and that kind of thing. So in a nutshell, you know, the differences between North and South, they're pretty distinct. But I think with regards to quality of life and the things that make life great, the communities, the food, the health, the healthy eating, that kind of thing, the scenery, all of those types of things that make you walk out your door and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm living in Italy. All of those can be found both in the North and the South. So it's just a different thing. It's a different vibe. It's kind of like the regions in Italy. They're all different from one another. It's like a brother and sister, and the brother's blonde and the sister's brunette with brown eyes. You know, it's just, you love them all the same, but they're very, very different. So I hope that helps you in your quest to find your perfect spot in Italy to come over and live. If you need help buying properties, we're here. Send us an email, and we're here to help you out. See you soon, guys.